remember Hugo. And there'll never be another one. Once the story gets to be so big, Otto apparently wasn't big here.
Right. You can't.
But once it gets to be so big, they feel like they got to take the name out. But soon they'll be adding. Don't you think at some point they're going to start adding the new names?
Yes.
And when I was saying new names,
Hurricane Dylan.
Right. That's there's Forest,
Yes.
Hurricane Forest.
Yes.
You see all these new. What kind of a name is Hurricane Cody? You could have. I mean, they'll begin naming names. They'll begin changing the names. They'll be the newer names. Has there ever been a Hurricane Derek?
I don't know.
Yeah.
There should be.
I guess there probably should be.
One hit Utica a couple years ago here.
I was just going to say.
The name of Hurricane
There you
Derek
go.
Clark from Broadway, Utica. And Derek, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
So we are in our last week of qualifying people to win this trip to New York City and to win tickets to the current show, which is Love Never Dies, the sequel, which is currently being built. When we say it's a tech show, that's a technical term. Not everybody knows exactly what that means. True technical term. It means that it's being made here. This is being set up here. Everything is being tested and created right here in Utica.
Yeah, and every Broadway show, regardless whether it's in Utica or it's actually on Broadway, goes through this process.
Yeah,
this is an industry term, and you hear Broadway actors talk about their tech phase. When they were going through tech and dry tech, and to actually be able to have exactly what happens to a Broadway show on Broadway here in Utica is pretty cool.
Pretty cool. And this show being tied to being an Andrew Lloyd Webber show is enormous. Being the sequel to one of the biggest shows ever is enormous.
Let me tell you, Bill, I was blown away. And I thought I had seen it all with, Kinky Boots came in, and then Motown followed up right behind that in January of last year as a tech. But our normal shows we measure them in trucks. So it's like, how many trucks is it? And that's what we manage the labor and everything. So a normal show is usually about 3 50-foot trailers. And this show, I'll go back to Kinky Boots. Kinky Boots was 6. Motown was 5. And this show is 8+.
Wow.
It is massive.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like this. I'm just blown away by the equipment and the people and what's going into this right now here in our community. And it's all behind the scenes. Nobody knows this happens. Everyone shows up, on show night at 7:30, and they get to sit there and enjoy it all. It's crazy what goes into it.
How long have they been here? And I keep going back to how I feel that just the shows alone, when you're bringing shows to the area, whatever entertainment we're doing, whether it's the Comets, whether it's Broadway, whether we're bringing economics in economic development, we're bringing money to the area. But this takes it a little step further because you're building it. So normally a show would come in a couple of days before, and then they're out right afterwards. Here, it's a couple of weeks before, even a month in this case, right?
In this case, right, the crew has been here for 15 days.
Wow.
This is their 15th day being in Utica. The cast started to arrive over the weekend. And the balance will arrive today.
All right.
So the crew is in the process of building the stage, building the sets for the first 2 weeks. And now we're rolling into the cast showing up, and then we start putting the whole thing together. The orchestra, all of their equipment is here. It arrived last Friday. They take over on the 13th, so we've got that going on the side as well. So we have not only the
so
tech,
they're rehearsing as well, and because this is their real first time coming together for the show. Is that correct?
That's correct. Wow. So the whole score will go from start to finish between the 13th and the 18th.
Now, what happens when somebody comes in and they start looking around like, could I go back in there and see? Is it like nobody back in? How do they do it?
Yes, right now it's all closed set.
Yeah.
And they allowed me to take some pictures, but I can't post them.
Got
it. But they are pretty cool.
Collection.
Yeah, I try to take different shots of things going on just for us to keep a memory of everything that's going on and how fabulous it is.
It will. Do you think Andrew Lloyd Webber will make it here for? I know that's the big question.
I don't know. There is absolutely no confirmation whether he's going to show up
How would he
or
not, though? I almost feel like, how would he not?
Well, I can say his wingman left me on Friday, and he was headed to, he actually had a diversion because of the hurricane on his flight plan.
Okay.
But he had to get in a car, drive to Rochester, took Rochester to New York City. From New York City, He was going to Nashville, from Nashville to London.
Wow.
Well, Andrew Lloyd Webber just happens to live there.
Okay.
And from London, I believe, to Madrid, and from Madrid back to Utica by next Saturday.
A week from this Saturday, a week from this Friday is when the show will debut in Utica. We're
A week from this Friday.
We're giving away, of course, the tickets to get into the whole thing, but the Broadway trip, the trip to see Phantom of the Opera and then see this show. I think combining the two is really, really cool. Seeing this as the sequel.
Oh, this is, I mean, for the listeners, I listen every day, so I hear you do the contest.
I make it easy.
I get excited. I get excited for them. I'm like,
So far, we haven't
can they
had
take me with them?
We haven't had a loser yet. It's amazing. These
Which is
people
nice.
somehow were able to come up with these questions, as tough as they might be. All right, I want to just end on the one thing, and that is the economics of it all. We were at one of the restaurants. We went at Swifty's, and there were some people came in for one of the other shows. It might have been Kinky Boots, I think. But they know these. They end up knowing them by name. It's like, oh, here's Bob from the show, because they've been here for a couple of weeks. And to me, restaurants and businesses and hotels, they're reaping the benefits of this.
Absolutely. And, and some of them are quite obvious that they're with the show and they're visiting the restaurants. But you look at Bite Cafe, you look at Ancora, you look at Swifty's, you look at Delmonico's. These restaurants thrive during this time. Not only do they thrive when we have the shows, but they also thrive for the weeks leading up to the show.
Right.
That all of these people are here. Dave from Swifty's approached me at the end of last week. He, he just came up and shook my hand. He says, "Thank you." He says, "I have been crazy, spinning out of control, because the show's here."
Yeah,
and he says
that's big.
it's such a great feeling to have that back again.
Those theater folks, they can drink and eat. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they have
from
to.
experience.
They're working really hard.
Yeah.
They are, and long days.
Tickets for the show. You have one quickie.
Oh yeah, Broadway Utica, I understand, has a new partnership.
Yes, absolutely. We're very excited. We're getting ready to announce, so you'll be the first. Nobody else knows this.
Okay.
As the season tickets are hitting mailboxes on Friday and Saturday of this past week, and today, they'll all notice on the back of the tickets is a big old Bite Cafe logo. And we partner with Bite Cafe, so everyone who purchases a ticket will receive a free coffee with a Bite Cafe
That's really
purchase.
cool.
When they turn in their ticket stub, they'll stamp it, and you get your coffee. We're really excited. They do wonderful things for the community, and I love partnering with people who give back to the community, and they're definitely one of them that's right there. So they will be our official ticket sponsor now.
Very nice. And on tickets, how do people get tickets?
You can go
And which one is? I know there's a matinee for this show as well. Is there one that has more open than the other?
The Sunday matinee at 2 p.m. on the 24th has the best available seating at this point. You can purchase tickets exclusively. Broadway Utica is the only place you can buy tickets for our shows, and all the Broadway performances are Broadway Utica only. So you can go to www.broadwayutica.com, or you can call us at 315-724-7196. Do not go to any websites that you may not know or do business with, and never dial an 800 number.
This is a biggie.
Yeah,
Love Never Dies.
Very excited.
Andrew Lloyd
This
Webber,
produced.
sequel to Phantom of the Opera. Really, really big. So congratulations. Nice job.
Thank you, Bill.